Hi everyone, this is Nikki Rowland and today I have a layout for simple stories to share using the FaBOOlous collection. FaBOOlous collection. I love it. I think it's great. I love Halloween. I've always enjoyed scrapbooking Halloween. So this is the ideal collection for me. Yeah, I'm starting off with this fabulous sheet of pumpkin faces. And I've got the big title FaBOOlous from the page pieces. And I have two photos of me and some girlfriends. We went away on a crafty week away actually, and then we ended up at a pumpkin patch. Obviously we took about 5 million photos between us, and had a great time. Honestly, we were the biggest kids there, and there's all these parents with little children, and then there's us big group of adults all taking photos and having lots of fun. So anyway, it was more of an autumnal day rather than a Halloween day. However, there was a giant spider there. It was a hay roll covered in black plastic, and he had been given eyes and 8 legs, so he was a giant spider. So I thought that was great to use on Halloween collection. So here I am. So I have started off with white background. I have trimmed that the pumpkin faces paper down a bit to probably about 11 inches, no, maybe a bit more than that, maybe 10 inches square, to stress the edges, and then I've folded over that top left corner as well. And I'm going to pop my two photos down in the bottom right corner with the title FaBOOlous, I'm going to mount my photos onto these journaling cards here. I usually use the 3x4 Elements papers to mount my photos. They're the perfect size. I have to trim them ever so slightly, but otherwise they're pretty perfect. And it means that I get some interesting borders on my photos as well. So just popping those two into place. Now I'm unhappy with the way that my background shows through my title, the letters of my title. So I'm just going to sort that out by backing those big open apertures with some white cardstock. So the 3 O's are all open. The B is closed in already, so I'm just going to sort that out quickly with a little bit of white cardstock behind it. It would be fine if it was going onto a white background, but what I didn't want it to do was show through the layers of my photos, the border on the photos, and then the background all coming through the one letter. It really loses the effect of the letter. So I just, really easy quick fix, just put some white cardstock behind it, so no problem at all. At the time I thought I could get away with the small O being open because it was just going to show through with orange, but in the end I decided to back that as well. So yeah, just moving on now to my two photos, distressing the edges of both of those now that they are mounted. You can see they've got a bit of an embellishment cluster going on top left. I'm going to have the corner folded over as I already have done. I'm going to put a whole load of floral ephemera or floral bits and pumpkin bits all there to create a lovely cluster over there. I just felt that my background needed a little bit of extra definition on the right hand side, so I took a dark strip of cardstock and just have tucked that into the right hand side of that big square there. There we go, just gives it almost like a shadow effect, only being on one side. Perhaps I should have done it one side and the bottom edge as well, or something like that, to give it a really good shadow look. But anyway, I'm happy with how that's looking. Just stapling that fold over there because I don't trust my adhesive to keep it in place well enough. I could have used my sewing machine but didn't. Don't know why. Maybe my stapler was closer. Just getting that stuck in place, and then I can now actually start adding all of the layers onto my background. So yeah, just filling in that O as well, and now I have a title that works really well. Like I said, it's just because I didn't want edges and corners of photos showing through the middle of letters, because it then distracts from the word and what it says itself. So it's just much cleaner if those are filled in and nothing's showing through. It would have been okay if it was just showing the background, but as it will show the bottom edge of the photos, it wasn't going to work. So that's that. But as I say, very easily fixed. Okay, so I can just get all of my extra floral bits all stuck in place now. I'm really happy with how it's looking. I can just start building up the clusters around those areas that I want them. Obviously, I want lots of pumpkins in place. I don't necessarily want loads of Halloween things because this is not an overly Halloweeny photo. I suppose it is a bit, but it felt more like a pumpkin picking autumn experience than it did a Halloween one. So I was just trying to convey that, I suppose, really by not putting in too many scary things, although I do end up with some. You know, I've got a broomstick there, I've got some spiders, but there was plenty of spiders at the pumpkin farm anyway. And at the top I've got Happy Halloween, and I'm going to add some other things as well. Those little spiders that I've just added in place, they're ephemera spiders, and I just felt that they needed some to be dangling down from some strings. So I just got my black pen, fine liner pen, and drew the strings in. So it looks like they're dangling down from the broomstick and from the cluster on the left-hand side as well. Loved this corner piece of chipboard from the Chipboard Stickers there. It says "Boo to you." There's a bit of a glare on it at the moment, so you can't see it too well, but that's what that says, "Boo to you." So just pop that in the top right corner, kind of balances out the layout quite nicely, and I do feel like I need to join up that top corner down to the photos a bit. So I'm going to add some word stickers there in just a moment. But right now I'm just adding in that big pumpkin piece of ephemera behind the photo. And little witch's hat there. And now I'm going to put my word stickers in. So I've got pumpkins, mischief and mayhem, welcome to our web, and Halloween fun. So those things all work really well. That's also served very much to join the embellishment cluster at the top, which is minimal, towards the photo corner on the right hand side. So it joins it up quite nicely, closes that gap anyway. So yeah, it's all coming together nicely. I'm nearly done actually, or feel like I'm nearly done, just making sure my photos are stuck down. I normally stick down just the bottom edges of my photos to start off with, and then once I'm happy and committed to the design itself, I don't feel like I need to move them anymore, then I add some foam pads behind them. So just adding a little bit of handwritten journaling anchored to the cluster on the left hand side with a black journaling pen. Yeah, pretty much there. I just now think I'm going to come in with some splatters of black paint. I wanted that big piece of chipboard. Chipboard tends to come off of layouts, and that's because chipboard is not flexible. It is very, what's the word? Stiff, firm. And then the layout itself is flexible, so therefore when the layout flexes and the chipboard doesn't flex with it, it pings off. So I tend to add foam behind my pieces of chipboard, or I sew it on with a sewing machine, and that way it doesn't go anywhere, because once you've added foam pads, of course, then suddenly your chipboard becomes flexible. Yeah, so that's just a little tip there if you've got a large piece of chipboard that's bound to come off at some point. So then I tend to add it with foam pads. So that's what I did there. So I've added my splatters already, and then realised that I haven't added any of these FaBOOlous decorative brads. So I'm just very carefully slotting those in, making sure I don't smudge my splatters. Just putting a few of those in, and enamel dots as well, of course. How could I have forgotten to add those? I think it must have been underneath a piece of paper or something. I didn't see them. Right, I am now finished. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed seeing this layout come together. I absolutely loved making it. I can't tell you how much I love creating with Halloween collections. They're always so much fun, and just, yeah, I just love it. So there we go, all done. Thank you so very much for joining me today. That was Nikki Rayland for Simple Stories using FaBOOlous.